Welcome back to Megaman X. The last video, we took down both Sting Alien and Spark Mandrill, both of the bottom bosses, and acquired a little hidden goodie from Joe Penguin's stage that we were unable to get before. Moving on, let's go on ahead and commit Launch Octopus to the Abyss. Now, interestingly, Launch Octopus is the other enemy that earlier I noted Flame Mammoth actually had two weaknesses. Both Storm Tornado and Rolling Boomerang. Launch Octopus being the other, I think you can see a trend here. You have long, noodly appendages. They can be damaged by Rolling Cutter. Also of note, and I noticed this, or rather I made note of this, I believe in Megaman 4 for the Game Boy. One major advantage X has over the original Mega Man is that given that he doesn't have to perform a button combination to dash, but can do so on a single button press, don't have to worry about messing things up and accidentally going down a ladder when one is trying to enhance one's speed. However, you can also just double tap forward, as you can probably see by my sprite's jitter, instead of just pressing the dash button. I will not lie. Ow. I do not like this particular sub-boss. This one right here. Not just the sub-boss, but this one in particular due to those spikes. When attempting to speedrun this game, he can be a royal pain in the ass that'll wind up getting you killed when you try to shave a few seconds off of your playthrough. Can't remember what it was that was up here. Just the health. Yes, two weapons in this game were massively overpowered. Both the Storm Tornado here and the well, I don't remember the name of the flame move. Also, do not come down here too soon. If this thing is still bouncing, you can get sucked up underneath of it and instantly crushed and destroyed. Now, the American copies, or rather the copy that I played, which is clearly a North American copy, given that I live in North America, I believe it's called Ultra Boros there, has a slightly different damage sound effect than in the European version. At least I believe it was the European version. Not only does the European version patch out that little glitch out of Flame Mammoth stage, but this thing right here, normally it makes this kind of mechanical hissing whenever you would damage it, which I would show you if the coward would come back out of the ground. That. In the European version, it actually uses a sound effect from the SNES game Megaman 7. And it sounds like Rush sniffing on the ground looking for an item. Yes, whether you destroy it tail first or head first, it goes down just the same. I think I'll let Launch Octopus show off his moves before I cut off his arms. He's got that jumping torpedo attack. Those fish missiles. He also has another move where he will jump up and create a water vortex, trying to suck you in. And if he does manage to and make contact with your character, he'll, come on. Show the fans your move. This will actually leech some health off of you. But that being said, I am now going to prevent every attack except for the shoulder missiles that he just fired off. And there we go. He has been thoroughly disarmed. To say this neuters the boss would be an absolute understatement. Though I think his actual weakness is a rolling cutter, an ability we don't yet possess. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, give me just a moment to do a quick head count and see if I've got all of the heart tanks except for the one out of Armored Armadillo stage. I do not. So I'm actually going to come back to Sting Chameleons and grab his first. The change to his level is actually extremely minuscule. This water, you see, was not here before, which, at this point, doesn't really play any kind of an actual role. It doesn't really change anything right where we're at. But a little further down the line, you will find that it can make a world of difference. You see, this is not a death pit. You slide down here, and destroy these blocks by wall jumping off of them. And if you destroy these blocks by wall jumping off of them, come on, you. We don't have Forever X. Jump over here, acquire a heart tank. That would be very difficult, if not impossible. I think just very difficult to do without having defeated Launch Octopus first. Now, let's see here. Got them. Yes. Alright, I think that's all but what is left in Armored Armadillo's stage, and so that is where next we shall go. Now there's a small trick in this stage, and a sort of throwback enemy. You've seen these mechanical bats earlier, but we've seen mechanical bats in other games. And that particular style of mechanical bat makes a reappearance here. If you notice, we dropped the 1-up. He's almost always good for a 1-up. So if you just repeatedly come back, dashing just off screen and allowing him to respawn, you can quite quickly farm him for 1-ups, bringing yourself up to the maximum of 9 in a very short period of time. Okay, so he's not good for it every time, I suppose, but he has a majorly increased drop chance of it, as opposed to the drop table on any other enemy. But we have no reason to farm him now, having filled out our lives. So instead we shall return to the, well, I wanted to call it a minecart, but I suppose it is the best rough equivalent of a minecart we have. Also, having not said anything... Oh, damn it. For those of you who don't already notice, what the chassis upgrade does is reduce damage taken even further. Well, I should say, reduce damage taken altogether. I was thinking earlier about how apparently X's reactive armor skeleton reduces damage by 93, I believe it was, %. Did not mean to get in front of this guy. Excuse me for a moment while I go back and acquire my reward. Yes, there was a sub-tank behind him. Normally I'll drop down and immediately shimmy back up the wall so I can get the sub-tank and maneuver myself behind him and into a better attacking position. As you saw, those storm tornadoes didn't seem to do a whole lot to it. Given how much damage they did to the Ultraboros earlier, kind of makes one think that perhaps they are exceptionally tanky. But there is another weapon that, while it still isn't instantaneous by any means, can kill him in a fairly short amount of time. But, because of its very short reach, it is a weapon that we will have to get behind him to use. But that was not the only of this creature. They're only in this level, but that was not the only one. So now I will show you exactly what it was I was talking about. Better to get caught behind, or caught in front of the first one than this one, as this one is actually a race. You see, if you don't destroy him by the time he gets here, he'll kind of break away the bottom parts of these ledges, and you won't be able to get up here and get your final heart tank. Now with that heart tank out of the way, come up here, there's a large health upgrade. This area will be touched on more in a few minutes. There's actually a little secret there, though anyone familiar with the Megaman X franchise is probably already quite well aware of what it is I'm talking about. Now, attacking Armored Armadillo with his weakness is a twofold benefit. First of all, clearly it does quite significant damage against him. But secondly, those armored plates that we destroyed, or rather, I guess you could call it destroyed, that we knocked off of him, normally if you were to take damage, you would store up the energy, not actually taking damage, and then fire it off in a powerful omnidirectional blast. Once those pieces of armor are stripped, this is not something he can do, though that is a bit irrelevant now. We get Rolling Shield. I do wish it would have shown you the charged up ability as well, but I suppose given that you cannot charge your special weapons until you acquire the arm part upgrade, it is understandable that they don't. Not the flashiest of cutscenes, but now we're on to what would be the Wily stage of the Mega Man X series, the Sigma stages. And normally, having defeated the last two bosses, I would end the video here, but instead I'm going to touch base on that little secret I spoke of earlier. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to speed this process up. Now, first things first, before you go trying this, you're going to need to make sure that you have all of the acquired have acquired all of the armor upgrades: feet, head, chassis, and arms, all 4 sub-tanks, and all 8 heart tanks. You're also going to need, I believe it's been debated, 6 or 9 lives. You're going to want to max your lives out and get all of that before you start this. That part was actually unintentional, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there is now a strange 5th upgrade capsule. What could it possibly be? Why, Dr. Light, that's not your normal lab coat. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The iconic fireball of Street Fighter legend, the Hadoken, is now available to us. So long as we are at full HP in our health bar, by performing a Hadoken roll plus the firing button, you will fire a Hadoken. While certainly a small projectile in comparison to your fully charged shot, or even the Spiral Crush Buster, it is incredibly damaging, killing anything that it can touch that doesn't, or rather that isn't immune to it, in one hit. With that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you on the other side.